Hi everyone, it's Helen Griffin here and thank you for joining me today. So I have a mini album to share with you today and I'll be showing you exactly how to make it in one moment. So let's have a closer look at the project. So it's a handbag style mini album and it's got some lovely shaped pockets on the inside as well and pockets on the other side of the page. And it's also got these beautiful handles here and a pocket on the outside cover as well, and lovely finished detailing here with the tag and the corners for the bag as well. So the papers I've used today are from the Paper Boutique and it's called Summer in Provence, and you can buy this from CraftStash. So this is a 12 by 12 pad and it's so lovely. I have to show you all of these gorgeous papers. So some papers have been used up already because I've used them to make the album, but you do get 36 sheets in 6 designs. Now moving on to the dies, I've only used 2 die sets to make this album. So I've used the album binding die set and I've also used the landscape gift bag die set. So this isn't even a mini album die set, this is just for making gift bags, but it's not just for gift bags because I've just made an album from it. So it's really versatile and you can just do loads with it. It's got loads of accessories as well for tags, mats as well, and the shape thing here for all your lovely flaps and handbag handles. So this is a lovely die set and it's one of my favourites. Let's move that aside. So let's get on with showing you how to make this gorgeous bag. So we're going to start with the binding first. So I have 3 pieces cut out here already. So I've used the album binding die set and I've used these 3 here. So this piece here is this one there. So this one is going to be our outer spine, and the smaller 2 are going to be our binding for our pages. So let's get these folded up first. So I've run these through my die cutting machine already, as you can see. Really quick and easy to do. So all we have to do is fold up these score lines and then we can glue them together. Okay, so that's all the folding done, and I'm going to be using Cosmic Shimmer. My label's kind of worn off because it's my favourite glue and I use it all the time. I'm just going to add some glue along the entire edge here. A little bit went over there. Right, so let's get this glued down. So I'm centering this the best I can. So we have even spaces either side of the score lines. And making sure that it's straight top and bottom as well. Press that down, and we're going to do exactly the same with this piece and this piece here, and that is our binding done. So exactly the same, just making sure that there's even space top and bottom and everything straight top and bottom as well. Okay, so now I'm going to set this aside to dry while we prep our outer pages. So I just need to put this back on there because this does dry out quickly. Okay, so I have some pieces here. These are going to be our pages. And this one is going to be our front cover. I've made the back cover already. Okay, so here is our back cover. That's all done. So we're going to have the pattern paper on the outside and the cardstock on the inside. So that's going to give our cover a bit more strength. So this is going to be exactly the same, except for the front cover. It's going to have a pocket on the front. So fold all of your score lines. I'm going to continue this line down there because we're going to be cutting that one off anyway. Okay, so grab your paper trimmer and then we're going to cut off this side completely. So I folded up the score lines just so that I could see the score line a little better, and we're going to cut off a little bit above the score line. So the bit we're cutting off is going to have the score line and a little bit extra, because we want our front cover to lay as flat as possible when we do the flap on the bottom. So it should look like this now. So we'll put this away. So we'll bring that one back, and we'll also bring this one in now. So we're going to fold this smaller flap up like so, and we're going to cut that off. I'm just going to cut a little bit more off, just like that. This is all going to help it fold up nicer. Okay, and now we can fold that over, and then fold all the rest of our score lines. Okay, so now we can add the glue. Oh no, we've got some die cutting to do now before we get carried away. We are going to add this die here. This is going to be our shaper. So we are going to add this just here, so that it's not going to be in a full pocket like this. It's just going to be a sneak peek, just to help us get in and out of the pocket. On the pages, they're going to be full reach-ins. So let's grab our plates. And use some washi tape as well. So I'm going to fold everything in while I get this prepped. I'll go sideways. And then remember, when we run it through the machine, to untuck everything, or otherwise you're going to be losing some bits that you don't want to chop off. So I'm going to try and get this as straight as possible. Okay, and then I'm going to run this through my Gemini. Okay, so now your piece should look like that, and I didn't actually untuck this, so actually it's not too bad. Just remember to untuck that. Okay, so now we can glue this all together. So I'm going to add some glue just to this line here on this flap. Going right up to the edge and the top corners. Then I'm going to put this on the top and then line it up so that this is completely lined up along the top edge here. And there we go. And then we're going to add some glue to this flap here. And then what I'm going to do is lie it down flat like this, and then turn this over and lay that down there. That's a super easy way of putting your bag together. So now we should look like this, and I want this one to match this side, so I'm just going to trim this off. And if you do get a little bit of overhang, you can chop that off as well. There we go. Right, so it's now looking like this. This is going to be the front of our bag, and this is going to be the inside cover. So now we can turn that over and then glue it either side. So add some glue just along here and along here, and then fold up, and then that is almost done now. So grab your plates again, we're going to do some more die cutting. I just need to swap out this because this is my rubber mat. I need my magnetic one. Okay, so we're going to be needing this one again, and also a piece of cardstock. So this is going to be our top flap. So this is going to measure 8 3/8 by 3 1/2. So grab a scoring board, and then we're going to score this at half an inch. So it should look like this now. You're getting a bit of glare from there. Let's move that over. Okay, so grab this, fold over your score line before we run it through, and then add this. I've got a bit of washi tape there, it's gone a bit funny, let's sort that out. There we go. Right, so these top prongs here need to go all the way up to the score line, and then just press that down. Oops. This is going to move around, so I'm going to use another bit of washi tape. There we go. Right, so now we can run that through. Okay, so we're not done with this just yet because we're going to do some more die cutting on our pages. Okay, grab some scissors and then taper these ends here on the folded up part. So it should look like this now. So now we can add this to our front cover, and I'm making a really big mess behind me. Right, so now we can add this on the inside just here, or if you want you can add it to the outside just to make it look nice, and then you can mat the other side. So I think I'm going to do it that way. So I'm going to add glue to the inside of the flap. So if you're gluing it onto the inside here, add your glue to the outside, and if you're doing the other side, add it to the inside. It's up to you where you put this one. So I've got an even gap left and right. Just need to make sure that this folds over as well. There we go. And then we'll also be adding a little Velcro patch here, so I'll need to find those. They're put away somewhere, but I will make sure that this project will have one and that I will demonstrate how to do it. So now we have to do is work on putting these onto our binding system. So here we have our binding. So I'm just going to fold all these over, all one way. Grab a bone folder and then press down, and then turn all the other way, and then press them down. So now the glue should have dried on these. Right, so now we're going to add our front and back covers. So this is going to be our back cover. So the patterned paper is going to be on the outside, and it's going to slip onto here, just like so. So let's add glue. There's a lot of glue in this. You can use double-sided tape as well, but I like glue because for me it's stronger for me. I don't actually use score tape, which I've heard is really good for this for strength, but I don't actually have any of that, so I'm sticking with my glue. And I love Cosmic Shimmer as well, so this is my favourite glue. It's really strong once it dries, and it dries quite fast as well, so it's pretty good stuff. So I'm just sliding that on, and then I'm going to press it down whilst it's in the lying down position. I'm also going to use my grid mat here just to make sure that the binding is straight as well, and also that the score line just pokes out. It's already started to set already, so I'm going to try and push that in. We have our score line there, and then we're going to press that down and just wipe away any excess glue as well. So that's our back cover done. So you can glue this shut now. Don't glue this shut until you've actually finished your album and everything's done, because you may want to add flaps and things, and so the tucky points can go inside here with the flap coming out the other side, and it's the same with here as well, so you can hide your flap ends in there. Let's push all these to the other side. So here is our album, so I want this bit on the outside. There's been so many times where I've put my covers on the wrong way round, so that's going to fit onto there. So add your glue, both sides, and then slide this on. Again, I'm going to use my grid mat again, just to make sure that everything goes on straight and that my score line is still visible. If you cover your score line up, it's going to have trouble closing. So yep, I'm happy with that. So now we can press that down. Okay, so this is really coming together now. So here we have our front cover and our back cover, so we're gonna fix that at the end and add some Velcro dots. So this is a lovely pocket here for putting extra things in. And now we're going to work on the pages. So I'm going to be using this larger die here for the pages. So just showing you this as an example. Okay, so I have two pieces of paper here. I'm going to run them through at the same time. And yes, the score lines do go completely through both layers, so it works out really quickly. And all of my pages, or my album, my bags are going to be the same pattern both sides, just to make it easier with putting it together, and there's less decisions to make as well once you do that. So I'm just going to take some washi tape again, stick that down there, and I'm also going to swap out my magnetic platform sheets here. Going back to my rubber mat, I do find that using the rubber mat does give it that little bit of extra cushion for when it goes through, and it's really good for the score lines as well, so they don't cut too deeply in. Okay, so that's on okay. Right, let's run this through the machine. Okay, so this is really good. This is the only waste from that cutout, so I really like the way that works out. Right, so we can move everything aside now. Okay, so let's prep this. Right, so fold all of your score lines down again. Some of these we're going to be trimming off, just like we did with the front and back cover. So we'll start, we know this one, this side flap is definitely going, so we'll cut that one off first. Okay, so let me show you an example of the pages we're going to be making. Here I have one here, so you can trim these off if you want. I'm going to leave mine on because it's going to be easier to get our cardstock in and out for our inserts. So we're going to be making this today, so it has a nice pocket there and then a pocket on the other side as well. Got bits of dry glue everywhere. Right, so we're going to be moving back to this one now. We're going to be using this on the full edge here. So we're going to put it on our cutting mat just like that, and remember to untuck these as well. So let's grab everything back again. I'm going to switch this out. And there is going to be a gap slightly on either side. I need some more washi tape now. Let's grab some new stuff. Oh, no. Okay, untuck that as well, just make sure everything's still straight. Okay, and then I'm going to run this through. Okay, so let's try and get this washi tape off. Right, move that aside. So now we have something that should look like this. And this is our bottom flap. That's going to curl under and create the pocket on the other side. So now we have to prep. There's washi tape everywhere. Right, so now we have to prep our other side. So this is the other side of the bag. So let's fold everything down again. Okay, I'm going to grab my paper trimmer out and do exactly the same as what we did with that lilac card. Try and get this all in frame for you. Okay, so the score line here is just to the right hand side of the cutting blade, so the score line is going to be cut off completely with a little bit extra. So I hope you can see that. Okay, so now we're ready to assemble this one together. Whoops, I'm getting all confused here. Right, I'm going to glue it together just like that. Sometimes I have to just put it down just to make sure I know where I'm gluing first, because I do get carried away when I glue, and I just glue, stick it down, and oh no, I made a mistake. Get carried away. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Let's pop this on. Lining up the top edges. Don't worry about lining up the bottom edges because we did trim that off, so it is slightly shorter. Okay, so same trick again. Add your glue to this flap and lie it down straight. This does want to pop up. Lie it down straight. We'll just trim that off. That's the easiest thing to do. Just trim it off. There we go. Right, now fold this down flat. Add glue to this section here. So this is going to become another pocket. It is going to blend in, so we can add a strip trim off a strip here and then add it across here to make a little border, and then your pocket will be more visible then. And there we have our pocket. So now I've got all my bits here. Put that on there. Okay, so we have this die here at the back here. This cuts out a mat. So it's this one here. So that does cut a mat, but it also does cut out the inserts as well that go inside the pages. So now we can slide those in. There we go. So let's get all of these in now. So it's really coming together now. Right, so I have cut a total of 8 of these, and then for the individual the gift bag sections, I've made 4 gift bags for the pages, which totals to 8 sheets of pattern paper to make the bags in total. So those are your numbers. So now we have to decide what order we're going to have our bags in. So I'm going to start off with this one, move over to that one, this one. So I'll go in the dark, light, dark, light. So we're going to go in that order there. So now we can glue them into the book, wherever I put that. Here we go. So we have our outer pages now. Right, so we're going to add them exactly how we did with the outer cover. So add your glue on the hinge on the right. So add glue to one side and then the other. Going right into the corners. Okay, so I have these in my order now, so I'm taking it from the back. It's very easy to get those mixed up and starting to take from the wrong side of the pile. So I'm going to take this and slide it on. So it slides onto this part here. So slide it on. And then, while it's lying down flat, line it up top and bottom. You mostly just need to line it up with the bottom. And make sure your score line is on show. And then press down. And then press down on the other side as well. And there we have our book. So as long as we have our pages lined up along the bottom as we add the pages in, we're not going to have any wonky pages. If you don't line them up, then you are going to get wonky pages. I'm just on the second hinge now, just adding my glue, and we're going to do it exactly the same as we did with the other page. I'm taking the second one from the back now. So let's slide this on. So there is a reason why I'm not having it up like this and then gluing it on in that position. It just means that it's going to stay like that. When you open your book, you're going to have all your pages sticking upwards. So you need to, these pages need to be lying flat as you add them. So I can still see my score line here, so press that down. There is a little bit of a bulk here because we have all of these layers being glued onto the hinges. That should be fine. Okay, so that's 2 down, so I'm going to add the other 2, and then I'll be right back to show you how we're going to finish off the album. Okay, so we're going to be moving on to the handles now. So I've prepped one here already. So you need to cut 2 of these. This is this die here. So cut 2, fold that over, but only fold to about here, so leave these out as they are, and then add some glue to close that. So I'm going to add glue here and here, those are our cut-off points, and then add glue in the centre. And then press that down and fold, and then set that aside to dry. I've done this one already, so we're going to be working on this one, and I've also got my glue gun heated up and ready to go. So this is going to be at one of our handles, and it needs to curve around like that. So just to help it, grab a bone folder and just run it over just like that. Helps break up the fibres and to curve it without it creasing. So now we have this for our curvy handle, and now what we're going to do is glue that on just like so. But to keep this flap closed, I have some Velcro here. Now these ones are for fabric, but you can use these on paper, it's fine. So I have two halves here. I just cut them in half because it's easier. So I'm going to add the fluffy side to the rough side, I guess, the hooked, the side with the hooks. I'm going to peel that off in one entirety, and then I'm going to add it just here, and then I'm going to put my hand behind here and then close that, and then press. So now we have a Velcro flap, so you can carry on and add these flaps all along your pages if you wish. So now we have a nice working pocket with a working flap. Let's pop these away before I lose them. Okay, so now we can work on our handle now that that's shut. Okay, so I'm going to flatten these out very slightly, depending on what sort of gap you've left, and then I could have left a little bit of a larger gap actually, so just flatten these out the best you can. And then we're going to add glue to these sections here, and then press down. I'm going to add quite a bit of glue. Someone may pick up this album by the handle, and we don't want any weak areas, so a nice amount of glue here, and then you decide how far you want the handles to go, just as long as they're both in the centre and there's a good gap between them. They're nice and even. So press those down. Okay, so now we can do the other side. So do exactly the same. Curl it over and then flatten these out. The glue's still kind of wet here, so I can kind of make these a little bit bigger. So this is all trial and error. And then we're going to put them exactly the same there. So let's grab a quick ruler. So they need to be around about 3 inches apart. So grab your glue gun again. So I want these handles lined up with the first lot of handles we put on. So I'm trying not to get messy here, but I'm trying to be quick as well. Oh, and I'm also trying not to burn myself. Oh, and I'm also trying not to make them wonky too. So yeah, it can get a bit fiddly. Okay, I think that will have to do. Keep those pushed down. Try not to glue my thumb to the bag. Okay, so there we have our handle and our other handle. So our bag is coming together, our bag album is coming together really well. So now we have our finishing touches. So I've grabbed these dies here and I've cut some out already. So we have this corner die here with the lovely stitching detail. I've made 4 of those, so those are going to get glued front and 2 for the back. And then we have to make our tag. I absolutely adore this tag. So we are having to make a window now, so then we can slot something in there. So this comes with a rounded rectangular die that fits inside here, just like that. So let's run that through our die cutting machine. Now I do have the plates for the Gemini Junior. I don't have the Junior, but I have the plates for the Gemini Junior because this would actually fit through the larger sized Gemini if you run it through sideways. So it just goes through quicker, and it's just smaller plates for you to be dealing with. So I have the normal plates, the plastic shim, the magnetic shim, and the cutting plates. So let's pop that on. Okay, so this goes through this way around. It won't work if you feed it through that way. It has to go in this way. Okay, there we go, and that's that cut out. So let's remove this fiddly washi tape again. There we go, we don't need those, so we just need this. So let's get this put together. Super duper easy. So fold all your score lines. So we're going to keep the hingy things on this one, and on this one we are going to cut them off. They are not needed, so we can just trim around those. And we're also going to trim this section off as well, and that one. So now we have the larger rectangle, so this is going to get glued onto there. Okay, this could be a little bit fiddly, just do your best. As I'm using glue, I have time to wiggle it into position. So starting from the back, looking from the front, I can see whether I have any overlaps. That all seems to be good. I have very gluey fingers now. Okay, so now I have just some silver twine. You can buy this from haberdasheries. Fold that in half, and then we can feed that through. You can go the one step further and add some acetate to the hole, the aperture here, to make a proper window. Okay, so there is our tag. So what I'm going to do now is get everything glued down and tied on, and then I'll be back to show you the finished project. Okay, so here we have our finished album, so it's looking really, really pretty. So we have the tag on the front, and we have a pocket on the front, so you have to lift it up there to open it. So we have a full pocket there, and then we have plenty of room inside here for tags, and I do need to map this as well. So then we have openings here for our tags there. So we have two inserts in there in each gift bag there. So you can actually pop some more things in here, some photographs on mats. Those will fit in there too. And then we have a pocket here as well. So there is absolutely loads of room here for tons and tons of photographs. And we have our detailed edging on the bottom and the corners as well. So I really like how this has turned out. So I've made this using just 2 die sets, which are the album binding die set and the landscape gift bag die set as well. So these are so versatile. So this isn't even a mini album die, this is literally a gift bag die set. So there's so much you can make with these dies. So thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.